Hello everyone, welcome to Job Skill Share, and today we are going to be covering a section under the help desk course. If you guys log in, let me say it quickly. If you're new to this video and you're coming from YouTube or any other place, this is a free IT training courses that we are teaching on jobskillshare.com or .org. So if you guys log into that, you'll go to help desk support entry level to specialist course, and when you scroll down you'll click on learning path, and this section will be under the learning path. You scroll down again and click on this. You will see the course will open up, and this is going to go under a new section and we'll call firewalls. Okay, now why are we adding firewalls to a help desk course? I mean, it won't make any sense. But the thing is that, you know, for help desk guys, it's important to know what is it. I mean, what type of technologies are being used outside, because then, you know, the more you know, the better your troubleshooting skills will be. Because now if there is an issue that is related to firewalls and you know that is firewall issue, then you don't need to spend time on it. You just can assign that call to a network engineer or anyone who is basically responsible for fixing those issues. And also it makes you more your skills get more and more advanced. When you know a little bit more advanced stuff, then you can apply for a little bit more higher level jobs, or you become more of a specialist in this job. So that's the benefit, and that's what we're doing right now in this video. Again, to anyone who's watching this video, this is a learning video, so definitely there's going to be talking, and then at the end there will be a lot of technical stuff. So bear that with me, because this is not just a YouTube tutorial video about a software. This is actually a technology that we're trying to you know, clear some confused minds. I mean, I myself was confused at some time, so now it's getting better and better for me. So here's what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just get to this. Here, let me just go close right now. So what we have here, usually most of you have internet provided by someone like Comcast, anyone that probably AT&T, or anyone that you use for internet connection. So they give you a connection cable or any other way. So you get the cable modem and you connect that modem right there. And then after that, you connect your basically Linksys, or if you have any other modems with you, you connect that, and then you connect all other machines to that Linksys router, and then everything is connected nice and everything, right? That's the home network. In business world, in small business, enterprise level business, I mean, they don't use those kind of things. They use a hardware firewall. Basically, they get a connection from someone, and then after that, everything starts from firewall, because they have that connection. They give them IP address 222. Whatever. They give them one IP address. After that IP address, they will put something, hardware level firewall inside right after that IP address when they get it, and from there on the whole networking starts. That's after the firewall. I mean, most cases I'm thinking that should be true, because if they don't do this, they're basically inviting anyone to come to their network and do anything they want to, right? Nobody wants that. Think of it as basically an airport. You go to airport, somebody has to check you. There's a security first. You go in, you put your papers in there, and then the next gate, you basically try to you can go and take the flight. If you don't have those papers, you don't have legal papers or anything like that, you can't take that flight unless you somehow break it. That's the same idea behind this, that you have a network, you need to secure that network right from the beginning, okay? And how do we do that? It's something like this. And also for you guys to learn this a little bit better, you don't want to jump in to switches like right away. If I say, okay, you know what, let's configure these switches and all that, and let's configure these routers, you're going to be still confused. You're going to be like, you know, somewhere it started from somewhere else. And that's what we want to cover in this video, that things starts from right in the beginning when you get that first connection from internet and they give you the IP address, okay? And then you get the firewalls, then you get the routers, then you get to do any other things, advanced stuff, switching, any other things, VLANs and all that stuff. Forget about that stuff right now. Let's focus on firewall level, because we want to know everything from the start, okay? So So this guy right here is a Cisco ASA 5510 adaptive security appliance. So this is a hardware level firewall, and a lot of businesses, enterprise level businesses, will use something like this. To configure this, you need to know a little bit, information. You need to know a little bit about Cisco, how to configure it, how to turn it on, how to reset it, how to get to the console, how to use it. You need to know a little bit more skills. So we're not going to touch this in this video. For help desk, you don't need this. So what are we going to do? We are going to use something very easy that everyone can also put a hands on. Not everybody's going to get ASA, and I know that. If you can, you have to wait for another course that we are creating just for firewalls, and that's going to cover everything in detail. What we have here is a server right here. Now, I know most of you won't have server. I mean, if you do, that's great. The reason I picked server, it's an old server. It's great for any firewall. Right now, it's a Windows server, it's a Dell server that has Windows on it. We're gonna wipe that off. The reason you have these two NIC cards in the back, 1 and 2, one is in and one is out. That's why you would need something like servers, because it's already built in. You have already built in there. So for firewall, most of the time you need that in and out. As you can see, you have external. You need 2 NIC cards right here. So one's right here and second was right here. You need external and you need internal. So basically you get your connection from external network. Like you get an IP address, you get that modem, you get the first Ethernet card, you plug it in, it goes to the external, then after that, the internal goes to the switch. So anything that comes from this level, any network that's going through this, you decide that do you want to allow this network to these computers? Do you want to allow this site to these computers? Do you want them to go to Facebook? You say block Facebook here, and then they can't get in. You say, okay, you know what? Remove all the rules. Let them do whatever they want. You can also do that. So what are we going to do is we are going to install a firewall on this server from the scratch. Now, what do you mean by install a server or install a firewall on this server hardware right here? There are different firewalls. Okay, so some vendors will give you a CD, and that has software in it. So what it does, it will wipe off everything and convert this server into their own firewall server. Basically, it's like a software. It will turn this hardware into a hardware firewall. That's what's the main thing. I mean, that's the easiest way we can put our hands on these some good firewalls that you can see and you can put your hands on and start playing around with. You can also have a computer. Let's say, for example, this computer. Let's say this is an old computer right here. And you can see it has only 1 NIC card, and that's like right here. Okay, that's a built-in one. You can basically buy online very cheap. You can get another NIC card, plug it in here, and it will come out here, and you'll have 2 NIC cards. And you can also turn this into a full-blown firewall. In this video, we will basically install Untangle Firewall because it's extremely easy to use, it's extremely easy to install, and it's powerful and at the same time very graphical. So for someone like help desk, new entry-level IT person, you should get your hands on this because that's how you're gonna get a little bit clear picture how to use firewalls. If you don't want to install anything on your machine, you can go to demo.untangle.com. Once you go to demo.untangle.com, just click on login. And when you log in, you will see the same page that basically if I go in and install everything on this server, you're going to see the same thing. But this is just demo to play around. Now the benefit of this is to just kind of you can see what's going on. You can get to the the settings and see the page and what's you learn more about what can it block and everything, but you're not going to see some action in there. To see action, you gotta install it on your lab environment and see how things works in real, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to install Untangle and play around with it, so that will give you just a basic idea of firewalls and how it is in real world. So that's going to open up your mind, and then you will go ahead and do more researching. But if you wait a little bit, we are coming out with a course that's going to detail and go over details on firewalls and actually touch up the ASA one, the Cisco one, and how to configure this, and how are we going to make the switches and router work with a firewall. That's how real businesses work. And when you do this, you're going to have a lot of experience. So to install a firewall on that server, since I already have two NIC cards on that, two NIC adapters, whatever you call it, I have that on that machine right there. I don't have it on my desktop. If you have two ones in your desktop, you can try that. But I will use my server because I already have that. All you need is a USB. This is a 4 GB USB, and now we're gonna go to our computer and see if we can get this working. Okay guys, so if you guys go to Google and just do Untangle requirements, and here basically click on the hardware requirements and scroll down, you will see something right here. NICs, you need 2 or more, so 2 would be the best one. I mean, if you can do it for lab testing, you just need 2, and it tells you how much can it take by processors. So if you have something like this, like a very old machine, you can manage up to 1 to 50 users. If you have dual core, you can make it this much. 2 or more, we are right here. 4 or more cores or here, so we can manage up to 500 to 1000 users. I mean, this is pretty powerful. If you can play around with this kind of stuff, it's going to make your experience and your skills level a little bit higher. So what we're going to do in this, like we say, we need one USB. I'm going to plug this into my computer right now. This computer have internet access, and that's what you guys need too. So when you plug that in, what you need to do is, if there's something in that USB, make sure you copy and save it. I'm going to go ahead and just open it. And what you guys need to do is right click on the USB. Here, right click on that and do format. And format, make sure this is FAT32 default, everything default. Click start and say OK. And we are going to format everything in this USB. So now there's nothing in this USB. All I need to do is to go back to my Google and say Untangle, and this time just Untangle. Go to Untangle first page, untangle.com, and here you will see free download, the first page, or we can go to the right side. I'm just going to click on free download, and here you need to make sure what system do you have. If you have 32-bit, you're doing 32-bit. If you have 64-bit, you're doing 64-bit. So I'm going to do 64-bit USB since my server is 64-bit, and it tells you what's the size of that, and say start downloading. So we are going to go ahead and say download, and you will click on save and then download it. Since I already downloaded, I don't need to do it again. Untangle 110.1. Just let me make sure it's the same one that I have. Go to my downloads, and yes, I have the same one right here. Okay, so make sure you download it and you know where it is. The second part is, then you need to go to write your image to USB, and on the bottom you do click show more and scroll down, and here what you need to do, scroll down, and then here you Win32 disk imager, you need to click on that and go ahead and actually you don't need to do this one, sorry, my bad. So cancel that out and let's go to this one, much more easier. Go to google.com and okay, type OS forensics. I think I already copy paste. There you go. Okay, so type this OS forensics, click on download, click on products, scroll all the way down, and then click on image USB. This one actually is very small. It's a portable one. That's why I didn't go for the other one. The other one is like 15 MB something. And then when you go scroll down and click on download a USB, click save, and then now you have that. Go ahead and open it. Extract this file. It doesn't matter what you use. Maybe use different windows. Make sure you know how to extract it. You can right click on it. You can also do extract all here. So I'm going to go ahead and open my image USB folder, and then you double click on that, and then you pick the USB. Make sure you don't pick anything else. Don't want to blow off all the files from that if you have any other USB. So make sure this is correct drive letter. So then make sure this is default right to UFD, and then do browse, and we are going to pick that IMG image, and then you do the IMG right here, and this is Untangle right there, and we'll just say right to UFD. If give you this option, go ahead and click yes. It will format everything. Yes. And now we just need to wait. So imaging completed. So make sure you take your USB out. You click on OK, click on exit, and make sure you click right click and eject it the right way. And we are going to take that USB out of this machine. So now our Untangle firewall is in this USB. We need to just go to our hardware now and make it a full-blown firewall system. Alright, going back to our diagram, what we have here, let's say for example you bought a connection from AT&T and they give you a link and anything, one IP address and connection. So we have this this connection. I have it right now. It's basically plugged in and the internet is coming to this connection right now. It's unsecured at this point. We need to make sure from this connection, how can I make it secure? So once I plug this into my server, basically once I plug it in here, what am I gonna get out from here? So anything that comes from this connection till this point is unsecured, and after this we're gonna make everything secure. So how do we do that? We are going to take this connection, like I say, this is coming from my modem, which is basically unsecured at this point. We're just giving an example. It's not actually true, but just take it that way. So we are going to plug this in. Whoops. Okay, I'm breaking everything, but here. Oh man, messed it up again. Alright, make sure I hold it this time, alright? So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into my network card. So as you can see, we have two connected right now. So one is coming from my modem to this server that I want to make a firewall. Now, don't get confused with the modem and everything. Think of this as someone just gave me a connection, this AT&T, Comcast, or someone that I bought this connection from, and I need to make everything out of after this. I need to make it for the company a secure firewall. Okay, so another connection is basically right here. This is going to this machine right here. So think of this as my client right now, or maybe a lot of clients. Okay, so this machine that I have right now is unplugged. As you guys can see right now, it's unplugged because there's nothing configured right now. I have a connection that's plugged into that server. It's not even built for firewall right now. I need to turn this into firewall, and then I'm gonna get this connection back, but this is going to be controlled by me. Whatever I specify in there, that's how that connection is going to be. Now in real world, what happens is that you get a firewall like that, you plug it in, you make everything in there nice and cool, rules and everything, and then you configure your routers, which is basically right here. Routers are configured, connections, all the networking is in there, and then you got the switches basically going to the rooms or offices. So you might have one switch specially configured for finance, you have one for like accounting department or whatever, you know. So that's how things are in real world, but we're not going to touch that right now. We want to keep everything basic. So at this point, what we're going to do, we are going to plug in our USB to this server, and I am going to plug it in here, say in the front. So this is where I plugged in. Alright, so everything is plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and turn this server on, and it's pretty loud. So I'm going to hit F11. You need to make sure you find your boot. So my on this Dell server 1950 PowerEdge, it's F11. If you have a computer, you might hit F9 for HP or something like that. You just need to know, you need to make sure that you get to you need to start this from a USB, not from a hard disk. So we need to wait for this. So here we are going to pick the front USB. I'm going to go ahead and start it. And then you get this little graphical install, normal mode. You have one text install. We're not going to do text, we're going to do graphical. Okay, so you get this nice graphical page from Untangle. Now you say English. I'm from United States, so I'm going to click United States. American English, yes. I'm going to click on continue, and then it will look for all that stuff. Just know, guys, that this is going to remove anything on your machine, so make sure you are just playing around in a lab environment. You don't want to do firewall kind of stuff on your office area. You know, you don't want to do these kind of things because it can mess up the whole network if you guys do something wrong, or maybe a wrong setup. So don't do that at production networking at office. I mean, make sure you whenever you play around firewalls, you just want to do it on a very separated network. Even it can mess up your home network. Not a big deal, but I mean, you have to turn it off and all that kind of stuff. It will just slow you down when you learn things. Okay, we're going to pick Eastern, and then it will tell you your summary. If it's bad, it will tell you, but it's great, meaning we're in a good position. Untangle must format, and this is where you get that message, format. I'm going to say yes, format everything. Okay, so failed. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and click on back. You basically get this if you have a disk space issue or a small disk. So what are we gonna do is I'm going to click on install the base system here. Click on continue, and what we are going to do, use the largest continuous free space, use entire disk. I'm going to click on use entire disk, and then I'm going to pick the first one. I mean, it's up to you if you want to SDA. I mean, it's the first disk, and second one, this is the forward. You don't want to do this one, definitely. This is a USB one, so I'm going to click on the SDA first one. Installation is completed, so it tells you to go ahead and continue to reboot the system, and now we have a full-blown firewall on this server. It's ready just like a hardware firewall. It's powerful. We can do anything we want. Just to tell you guys, we are right there right now. So we got the connection from modem, we got the connection, we built our firewall. No, sorry, we don't have this firewall. This is our firewall, sorry. Untangle. So this is our firewall. We built this right now, and now after this we will be managing anything after this. So any computer, so this computer is our client, everything will be managed by this person right here. And just to give you guys another reminder, our network is still disconnected, meaning it's still not up yet. This firewall is not configured fully. Once it's configured, the whole connections, that X will go away and it will get the connection. So on a restart, you will see this for the first time. Cool Untangle logo. So the first page, you will get this little setup. All you need to do is click on next, and let me just move this over so you guys can see, not my broken screen. I need to get another one. Click on next again, give it a password. So guys, I mean, if you are installing a firewall in a real system, definitely you want a very good password. Now in this lab, this is just to show. I'm not going to put a very strong password, but firewalls, I mean, definitely you need to put a very good password. So we'll say this next, and then it will detect our connection, which say right here. So it tells you right here, Etho1 is going to be our external connection. That's the one that we just connected, and we have Ethernet 1 that's disconnected right now. but we're gonna go ahead and click on next. So this is the cable that is not connected to that laptop yet because we didn't want it to connect it, I mean, for now. So you guys can actually go back to get to this point if you guys want to go back and make sure you connect it and see what happens. And this is the laptop that's basically it's on my TV right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and connect this, and I will go back and click on next. Okay, when you get this, you can go back, make sure you refresh it, and now you see both are connected. So if you get like errors, make sure you close this and reopen the client again. So let me show you from here, launch client on the bottom, and just put the password again, and you will see both of them will light up. And now if you guys go and see my computer right here, as soon as we plugged it in, that X mark went away. So let's go back here to the configuration, and we're gonna go ahead and click next again. Okay, so we'll get an IP address, and now you can put a static. Most of the time you will put your firewall as static, but for testing, I mean, I will leave it at DHCP because this is just for testing purposes. You can click on test connectivity. It should pass the connectivity because it just gave you the IP address and gateway, which is basically my modem that's connected for my internet and stuff, and the DNS. So it says success right there. We're gonna go ahead and click next again. Like I said, for most of the firewalls, you have to put static one because you don't want your firewall IP address to change. That will cause a lot of problems, okay? Unless you're using this for some other purposes, like a bridge for some very few purposes. So here you will give you two options here. Do you want this server to be a router and a DHCP server? Now, these terms, don't worry about it, guys. Don't make yourself confused. What it means right now, if you turn this option off, this will take that router away. You see that router right there? This will go away, meaning that that little configurations and everything that you do in a router on a Cisco level, that will go away. This will take over, meaning this little machine will take care of everything. DHCP, usually a lot of people have servers, DHCP server, Windows server, they have DHCP stuff, and that's how most of the people will configure their Windows, because if you have clients, Windows clients, it's gonna get messy if you have another DHCP running. So it's just like that, you know. That's why I will not enable it, and I'm going to click the second one, transparent bridge. What it does, it will keep everything the same, running everything. This will be in the middle, like transparent, meaning it's in the middle, it's looking at everything, but you can change things at any time. I mean, that's how it is. And that's the one that will not mess up things. I mean, if you do this one in a production environment and you have another DHCP running, you have another router running, definitely there's going to be conflict and there's going to be problems from there on. So I will not touch that one. I'm just going to click this one because we want to learn about firewall in the basic levels right now. So go ahead and click next. Then you will get this message. I'm going to say no because I don't want any updates now. This is not my firewall, real firewall. So congratulations, and you say finish. So we're done here, guys. Remember this screen when I was talking all that boring talking on the camera like 30 minutes ago? You guys saw the screen. So it will give you this registration. You need to register first. If you already register, you can just put your email address and password. If you haven't, then you just click on here and register. It's free registration. There's nothing big. So just go ahead and do that. Then you will get this message that do you want to install recommended apps? I'll say no because we want to just start everything from scratch, you know. So this is what it is. Now firewall, you have everything ready. This is the firewall. So what we did for, let's say a company gave us a link and then we created a firewall. Now after this, we decide what clients can access and what they can't access. And that's what we're going to do from here on, okay? So if you go on top right there, it will tell you that it's up and running, and then some other things like CPU load and all that. We don't want to get into that. If you click on this little host one, it will tell you that this host is connected right now. So let's go ahead to this machine since it's connected, and we want to see what IP address is this machine using right now. So we'll go ahead to CMD. This is our client machine. Just think of this, some office, and type ipconfig. And that's the address that we are getting right now, okay? And you can see this is the same address that's coming right here. It's already detected that there's someone after this firewall. There's someone connected from the network that we decided that is going to be monitored by this firewall, and that's how it is. The first client is connected, and it tells you right here. So we will go ahead and close that right now. And now we're gonna go ahead and see if this machine can access internet. Let's go ahead and try our own site, jobskillshare.org. So as you can see, things are not working. It's telling that resolving host somewhere there's a problem, and this is a real world example for you guys. So page is not available. Now this is why I said in the beginning that, guys, if you know about firewalls, if you know a little bit as a help desk, as an entry-level IT person, when you know things at this level, that you have done everything on this machine and you can go there, there's no X mark in there, so you know the cable is plugged in, you did the IP config. So let's go ahead and do that. I mean, these are the normal steps you are going to do if there's a problem, right? Like this, you do IP config and you see, oh, there's a IP address, there's a subnet mask, there's a gateway in there. What's going on? I still can't get in. Okay, let's do IP config all. Okay, so then you scroll up and you see, okay, oh wow, okay, there's a DHCP server, there's a DNS. What's going on? I still can't get in. So what you need to do in this case is you need to come to your config. Now you know there's nothing installed on the firewall, so there can be some other filtering going on. There has to be something from a network level right from the firewall. So you need to go to config and click on network. And once you go to network, you can see the same configuration that we just did. All you need to do is to go to DHCP server advanced, and then you need to take this check mark off, because right now this is DC authoritative. So basically, I mean, if I'm pronouncing it, authoritative. All right. So yeah, I'm pretty bad with pronunciation. So you need to uncheck this, because right now this guy is taking over your DHCP running from your modem. That's basically somewhere in your house or somewhere in your business, whatever, you have a DHCP server running. So these are the problems that I was talking about. You know, you install this thing, but still, I mean, it's not getting connection right now. So make sure you do apply. So once it's done and you see that check mark went away, so let's go back to our page again and type jobskillshare.org, and there you go, just came up. So now little things, but you can see how things can mess up for you. For example, you're a help desk guy and you want to know things from this level. You could have done every single thing on that machine, try to fix that, but it won't get fixed. I mean, it's just going to give you a headache that, hey, it's not getting fixed, there's something not right. Things like that happens all the time. If somebody did a misconfiguration on a firewall, or maybe played around with the IP addresses or something like that, and things get messed up a little bit, or maybe a little check mark went in there. Things like that happens. So if you have that knowledge, if you have the skills, you can easily assign these calls directly to a person who is handling this stuff. So now to give you a little bit more idea of how firewall works, I mean, you can do a lot of things from here. This is not a tutorial on Untangle specifically. I mean, it's just to give you guys little, a picture of firewalls, how things work in real world. So if you guys go back to here, interface, and we're gonna go and cancel this actually. Click on OK to get away from there. So At this point, you want to do a little bit more with firewalls. You have on the left side, you have more options. Now, any other firewall, they will have some other way to, but it will be the same type of things: web filters, virus blocking, application control, and things like that. VPN systems, captive portal. Let's go ahead and install that. So when you click on that, it will get installed. So now this piece of feature of this firewall, it's basically turned on right now, and this is a little turn on button right here. You can just click on that, it will go off or turn on. What it does, it basically, sometimes you go to a store or hotel or any other business area, and when you click on their sites, or you want to go to Google, you get this page right in front of you, say, oh, welcome to our hotel, blah 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 blah, these are our policies and you need to accept it to use our network. Or you go to airport. In airport, you have guest Wi-Fi. You click on that, and that tells you, okay, you need to click agree over our terms to use our our internet. So that's what it is. It comes from firewall level. So what it does, this captive control, portal control, we're gonna go ahead and go to settings, and we are going to go ahead and capture. Actually, before we do that, you need to turn on the reporting so you guys can see things. So you have this installed, scroll all the way down, and then find reporting here. So we are going to turn on our reporting. So now we have more ability to do things and see things and capture things. So go ahead and click on settings again on captive portal, and now we are going to go ahead and say captive page. And this is a basic page, basic message, and that's where it starts from. So you will see something like, welcome to Hotel Hilton, whatever, and then you have all these terms in there, and they make you check the box. So go ahead and click on it, check that box, and so you can put like a login in there if you want people to log into their system. We'll do that in a second, but we enable all that stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and click on apply, and now this setting is on. And also we'll do capture rules. So we're gonna check this and say apply right here and click OK. So now this is on. So if we go back to our site again, before we just typed in the site and we went in directly, right? What happens now if I go in there and go to this site again? Bam! So I got this captive portal right away in front of me, saying that, you know what, now before you could go in there directly with no stoppage, nobody checked your ID or anything like that. Now I'm going to check your ID. Make sure that whenever you get to my network, you got to accept my rules and you use a username or password in there to get into the system. So now I can just click on continue, but I had to check this box. Without it, I can't do anything. I can go to another page, it will pop up again. So I need to check this box to go into the system. So what if I want to change that, and I want to put a username and password like we just put, and as soon as you do that, it basically start capturing everything right here. Get the idea, guys, that something is capturing all this information. Someone is monitoring it. So that could be a security, guys. If you want to be a security engineer, you need to focus on this kind of stuff, more details of packets capturing, IDS and all this stuff, packet filtering and all this stuff. Study on that a lot. You could be working for security engineering field for that. So that's, I mean, most of the people would do this type of stuff if you're interested in security and you like this kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and click on settings again, and then if you go to user event logs, actually not logs, rule logs, yeah. So if you go to rule logs, it tells you right here something is happening from 10.16. And it went to these sites, these ports are being used. You can see all the information is getting gathered over here right now. If I go back to my captive portal page and I say, you know what, I'm gonna put basic login in there, and now this person has to log in to use my site or my network. I'm going to click on apply, and it tells you, okay, for basic login you need to change the none setting. So to do that, you need to go to let me see, it's right here, yeah. So user authentication, you need to click on local directory. You can put an active directory in there if you have your local user. That's more advanced stuff. We just don't want to do that right now. configure a local directory, and you can add a user here. Say, you know what, test first name, test email, and I'm just gonna put a password in here. Expiration none, say done, and then click on apply and click OK. So now what happens if this client go back in there and I want to put a username and password in there? So go ahead and refresh it. So you go to the site again. So let's go to the site. Okay, we need to close this out because it's cached in. So go ahead and do that. Okay, we need to come back here and figure things out again. So we have applied, we have clicked OK. Let's go back to settings again. Capture rule, capture portal, basic login, enable, no. Okay, everything looks good. I don't know why this is still... Alright, let me go back now. There you go. So you got the username and password. If something like that happens and you can't figure it out, you just need to go back to the status, because this IP will be right here, and you just need to disconnect it and let them retry again. So then you will get the username and password. So if I put my username and password in there, then I can use this network. Okay, so I'll just do that right now. Quickly test and put the password. And there you go. So now I'm able to access this network. So what if I want to do a little bit more than just putting a front page and log in, log back, and do more like a web filtering? They have a web filtering features right here. You just click on that and it will install that right there. You just wait for a few seconds and that's installed right now. And it gives you like 14 days trial, but you can also use, I think they have a free one. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere here, like a web filter light, something like that. Okay, so if you click on settings, it will take you to the web filters. Like it'll give you, right, what do you want to block? Do you want to like block gambling and some sites that you don't want, do you think it's not appropriate for your business? You can block site by name. So if I go there right now and just type jobskillshare.org, it's a bad site or something like that. Let me go ahead and putting a wrong keyboard. So go ahead, put that jobskillshare.org, and we'll click on done and click on apply, click OK. So now if I go back to my client side, and if my client wants to go to the site that I don't want them to go, this might not work for them now. And this is where you get web filter is blocked, this site, because I blocked it here. And that's how things happen in the companies too, because if there's a site, it's, let's say, a music site, and your company, your people always complain that, hey, things are bad here, you know, we can't do anything, we can't do our work, then you need to do more of troubleshooting to see who is using your bandwidth and how are they being used. And if you see something like, okay, there's a site that is grabbing all of that information, like it says social networking here, facebook.com, and it says, you know what, this site is the top site on this firewall and it's always top, then you need to look into this site, who is using that site, what IP is running from, this is the IP address, and you easily find that person in seconds, that this person is using this site, and this is causing our network to slow down because this person is listening to live music all the time while people are working. So then you will get a go ahead from your management to go ahead and block the site. You can block it, and that's where things will get better. This happens all the time in the companies. I mean, people, they start bringing these phones and everything, and then they plug in all this stuff and go to live music, downloading stuff, and that causes a lot of bandwidth issues. Then you need to jump in and do something about it. Now, you can't block everything, but you know, you can do something for live streaming kind of sites. So that's one way to do this. But guys, I'm not going to go through all of this. It gave you an idea, a basic idea of firewalls, how powerful they are, and for your own skills to learn this type of stuff at this level, you get to know more of a networking side, how things are working from the scratch. So if I go back to my little, so then it gives you an idea, you know, then you come to this desktop and you're trying to troubleshoot things, but you know that the issue is not here, the issue is somewhere here. It's just give you more you know, freedom to work on, because then you know your skill level is all the way down here. You know, you can find things very quickly like that. But if you are stuck in here, you're just doing things over here and not try to learn this stuff, it's gonna always be very hard for you to figure out things. You're gonna waste a lot of time in my side, you know, because then, like I said, it might be an issue somewhere on a switch level, somewhere these guys need to turn. I mean, this other guys are taking care of this job. Then you're just putting too much time to figure an issue that is not related to you then, okay? So hopefully this video just clears some mind, or maybe opens some mind, and then now you have this idea, hey, I want to learn about firewalls, I like security stuff, let me go ahead and start searching more about firewalls. So this is a basic video. I know a lot of talking, so hopefully you guys learned something from it, and we are creating a whole new course just on firewalls, and we are going to be discussing the Cisco ASA, Untangle, pfSense, and some big firewalls, and then we are going to connect them to our routers, make our switches work with it. Then from here we are going to go back to our clients' machines and do all this type of stuff that we just did in a demo. Thank you for watching jobskillshare.com, and see you guys next.